The following program is paid for by the friends and partners of Joyce Meyer Ministries.
I enjoy every moment of my life. Every moment of my life. Now, I'll be honest with you, this was a real challenge for me. I've had to work on this one because, first of all, I'm a worker. And because I was abused in my childhood, I turned into a workaholic, and I got all my worth and value out of what I did. And because my parents seemed to be more pleased with me when I was doing something and producing something, I thought God was more pleased with me when I was doing something and producing something. And I certainly thought He was much more happy with me when I was doing something spiritual rather than just some fun thing. I didn't really get to have any fun in my childhood, to be honest. When I was in my 20s, I couldn't remember ever really being happy. And so because I was abused, I had my childhood stolen, so I became an adult with no child in me, and that's not healthy. Every healthy adult needs to have a healthy child in them also. You need to know how to work, but you need to know how to play. And when I began to get a hold of John 10:10, the thief comes only to kill, steal, and destroy, but Jesus said, I came that you might have and enjoy your life, have and enjoy your life, have and enjoy your life. I started getting mad that the devil had deceived me into thinking that enjoyment was ungodly. That somehow or another, if I was having fun, there was something wrong with it. And some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Every time you try to rest, every time you try to do anything recreational, anytime you're doing anything besides something spiritual or working, you vaguely feel like something's wrong with it. Can anybody relate to what I'm saying? All right. Not all of you, but a lot of you. And I know that there are probably millions watching by TV. And I think that's one of the reasons why people many times backslide from a relationship with God, because they go about trying to serve God as a job and work, and they think that now everything in their life must become some spiritual activity, that all we can do is pray and sit in the corner and read our Bible and go to Bible studies. Well, there's a great, big, beautiful, wonderful world out there that God created for you, and He wants you to enjoy it. Not to be worldly, but to enjoy the things that He has created. And He wants us to enjoy one another, and He wants us to enjoy ourselves, and He wants us to enjoy Him. There's an interesting thing about time. The time that has gone by in our lives cannot be recalled. We're always saying, well, you know, I wish I was 40 again. Well, that's not going to happen. Because whatever amount of time we have lived, we cannot get it back. When this day's gone, it's gone. You can't get it back. The 2 hours that we spend here, when it's gone, it's gone. You can't get it back. Well, I used to come at these conferences like work. This is my work, and when my work is over, then I will enjoy myself. And then I finally realized, you know, I practically live in this pulpit. And so if I don't enjoy this, I'm not going to have a whole lot of time left to enjoy anything. That's why I decided I'm having fun. You can do what you want to, but I'm having fun. You got to make your mind up to enjoy every single moment of your life. The time that's gone by, we can't get it back. We've used it, we've spent it, we've wasted it, we've invested it, we've wished it away, we've dreaded it, and we may have been wise enough to actually have enjoyed it. How many of you feel like that you need to enjoy your life a lot more than what you do? I had my birthday last week, and I was 64, and so we figured, now listen, I have been alive 23,360 days, 560,640 hours, 33,638,400 minutes. And if I were to live until I was 93, you say, why 93? Oh, I don't know. I just picked that number one day and said, Lord, I want to live till I'm 93. If I can preach the whole time. I always tell my kids I want to die preaching. It makes them so mad when I say that. They're like, can you imagine how awful that would be for us if you were preaching and fell over dead? I said, well, at least I'd go out doing what I like to do. Well, you have not because you ask not, so if you're around when I leave, if I get to die preaching, you know God answered my prayer. But if I were to live to 93, that means I've got 29 years left. Now, when I counted this up, I thought, well, that don't sound like much. The number of days that I've got left is 10,585. 254,040 hours. 15,242 minutes. 242,400 minutes. But think about that. 10,585 days. Man, I am stirred up more than I was before. I am not going to waste a day of my life. I am not going to waste a minute. I'm not going to dread a day. I'm not going to wish it away. Don't ever say, I'll be so glad when this day is over. Yep, just killing time. What are you doing today? Oh, just killing time. No, we spend our time, and we need to make sure that we spend it doing something that we really want to do. And no matter what we do, we need to make a decision to enjoy it. Everything that you do. You know, we travel with 60 some odd people. It takes to put one of these on and put all this stuff up and get it all down and get it back in the trucks. And our team that flies back home, naturally, they're tired and they like to get out of the city as early as they can, get back home to their families. Well, I guess all of them, I don't know if it's all of them, but I talked to some of them, they can't get out till 6 o'clock tonight. Well, you know, I remember when I would go through stuff like that and I would think, oh man, go sit in that stupid airport. And you just be so miserable while you're waiting to get home. And I finally thought one day, you know what? If I'm going to sit here, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy this. You can enjoy anything if you make your mind up to. You can enjoy sitting in traffic if you make your mind up to. Make a decision today and start thinking about it and confessing it. I enjoy every single moment of my life. I am not wasting any of it. So many people will even come to something like this, and then about this time, they start dreading the ride home. Or dreading to go home. Some of you have already made your mind up that you're going to get mad when you walk in your house if it's not the way you told everybody it should be when you came home. See how we are? We're planning for a disaster and a fit. And here you've been to this great conference all weekend, been in the presence of God, and now you're like, I sure dread this drive home. Well, too bad now, I've messed up your plan. You can't dread it, and you can't go home and have a fit. You're going to actually have to go act like a Christian. Woo! Hallelujah. The present moment that we have is the only one we're assured of. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen next in their life. We're alive, so let's celebrate it. Let's begin to celebrate being alive. Ecclesiastes 2 verse 4. I made myself great works, I built myself houses, I planted vineyards. I made for myself gardens and orchards, and I planted in them all kinds of fruit trees. I made for myself pools of water from which to water the forest, and I made the trees to bud. And he goes on and on and on and on down here. I made for myself, I did for myself, I got for myself. Verse 17. So I hated life. I made for myself orchards. I made for myself gardens. I had myself concubines. I built myself houses. I did all this for me. So what happened? I hated life, because what was done under the sun was grievous to me. For I saw that all of it was vanity, which means useless, and striving after the wind and feeding on it. You better take time building relationships and not just trying to get money, because when you're on your deathbed, you're not going to ask for your bank balance. Verse 24, now he begins to learn something. There's nothing better for a man than that he should eat and drink and make himself enjoy good in his labor. Even this I have seen is from the hand of God. I think it's interesting that he said he's got to make himself enjoy the fruit of his labor. It doesn't always come naturally. You know what? Sometimes you've got to make yourself take the time to enjoy even what you've worked hard to have. How many people own a beautiful house and never make themselves take time to enjoy it? You can be so busy trying to have it look a certain way and impress everybody that comes in that you don't even enjoy the house. I used to be like that. I didn't take the time to enjoy my kids like I wish that I would have. I loved my kids and I took good care of them, but I didn't have the time for the play because I was always busy working. Make sure you have a good balance in your life. Ecclesiastes 5:18. Behold, what I've seen to be good and fitting is for one to eat and drink and to find enjoyment in all the labor in which he labors under the sun, all the days which God gives him, for this is his allotted part. So here's this guy who's just been miserable. He's tried everything, he's owned everything, he's had everything, he's bought everything, and he said, I hated my life, and he said, this is what I'm supposed to do. Enjoy it. How many of you know that you need to take time to enjoy what God has blessed you with? Everything is beautiful in its time. What are some of the hindrances to enjoying life? Not knowing or believing that it's God's will for you to enjoy life? See, I didn't know that for a long time. I almost felt like enjoying myself was sinful because I could remember when I was a kid getting in trouble for laughing. Oh, it's so funny. Get in there and clean your room. You know? Like, ooh. Being excessively perfectionistic will keep you from enjoying life. Hello? Come on, don't sit out there and look so innocent. How many perfectionists do we have in here? And just keeping everything the exact way you want it is just about to drive you nutty. All right. You're the only one that can do anything about it. Learn how to adapt and adjust and go with the flow. Amen? I learned a good lesson one day years ago under the kitchen table. Seemed like every night somebody spilt their drink on the table, and back in those days we had those tables where you had a crack in the middle. You know, it was two pieces pushed together and you could put a leaf in the table. Well, you know, when somebody spilled something, the trick was to get to the liquid and get it before it got in the crack. Because in that crack there was all kinds of crumbs and dirt and junk, and if you got milk in there especially, it would sour and really become bad. So every time the kids would spill something, I'd go into this mad fit, dash across the kitchen, trying to get the rag, trying to clean it up before it got to the crack in the table. But one night I didn't make it, and I was down under the table, and it's running down the legs, and I'm under there. Hey, we can't have any peace around here. Every night, somebody's going to make a mess. And the Holy Ghost spoke to me. He said, you know, Joyce, no matter how big of a fit you have, that glass is not going to run back up these table legs, across the table, and back in the glass. So he said, why don't you learn to go with the flow? So some of you perfectionists just need to learn how to go with the flow. Not understanding the beauty and the power of simplicity will keep you from enjoying life. We can complicate our own lives unbearably. Keep it simple. Expecting someone else to make you happy will keep you from enjoying your life because they're sitting around expecting you to keep them happy. Take responsibility for your own joy. Being selfish will hinder your enjoyment of life. and not knowing how to let other people help you will keep you from enjoying life. Some of you are so overwhelmed, but you wouldn't dare ask for help. Here's the 10th thing that I want to encourage you to think about on purpose. God abundantly supplies all of my needs. I want you to get rid of that little bitty, pathetic, pitiful thinking. Psalm 35:27 says that God takes pleasure in the prosperity of His servants. And prosperity is not just money, it's not just stuff, it's joy and peace and righteousness and a good strong love walk. And yes, it is having your needs met and having more than what you need for your daily existence so you can reach out to other people in need. Well, you know, time is very precious, and it's also really important how we use it. God is very clear that He wants us to be wise in how we spend our time, and at the same time, He wants us to enjoy the time that we have. Enjoy every moment. Don't waste your time, and don't say you don't have enough time. Just make a decision to make the most of the time that you have. Ginger's with me today to ask some questions regarding time and why it's so important for us to enjoy every moment.
Well, you know, this is something that I think a lot of people just innately have problems with. Like, am I really supposed to enjoy my life? I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot of serious things to think about. The world is a serious place. It's not easy for all of us to really grasp that even God wants us to enjoy every day.
Well, a lot of it is a mindset, and first of all, I think that people, many people at least, it doesn't even occur to them that they can enjoy every moment of their life. They see enjoyment as not having to do anything or being able to do exactly what they want to.
Yeah.
I mean, how could I enjoy just cleaning my house or going to the grocery store, or how could I enjoy going to work when I'm not even really that crazy about my job? And the truth of the matter is we have to stop putting all the emphasis on trying to enjoy what we're doing and learn how to enjoy the fact that we're getting to do whatever we do with God at our side. If we can learn to recognize that He's with us in all things. You know, He doesn't just live in some building we call church.
Right.
And one of the first things that I had to learn was to stop dividing what I thought was sacred and what I thought was secular. Many times we want to get through all the average, normal things in life so we can do something spiritual because then we think we can feel good about ourselves.
Right.
Or that's really important, so then I'm doing something really good. But the truth is God gives us all pretty average, ordinary lives to live. And, you know, I was thinking last week about something, and, you know, not too long ago I was in Zimbabwe, Africa, standing in front of 225,000 people preaching, and it happened to be my birthday, and they all sang happy birthday to me, and that was pretty cool. And 2 weeks later, I'm rolling my cart around the Target store, just, you know.
Picking up toilet paper.
Yeah, just doing this normal, everyday thing. And, you know, I can honestly say that one was just as enjoyable for me as the other. And I don't say that because I'm so spiritual. I've learned it. I've learned that the first thing that we have to come to before we can ever enjoy life is to really know that it's God's will. Somehow or another, religious thinking gets in us, and we just don't have this idea of God as being very much fun. You know, it's like, and I think maybe it starts with your little kids, you know, it's like, be quiet, you're in the house of God, you know, and already they're like, And we need to understand that God's our friend. Yes, He's holy and to be reverenced and to be feared in a right way, but hey, God is for fun. You know, obviously this subject's important to me because we call the television program Enjoying Everyday Life. We changed the name of it several years ago from Life in the Word to Enjoying Everyday Life, simply because I thought, what a tragedy if Jesus has done all this for us and that we don't enjoy any of it. We don't enjoy it all. Every day that God's given us. And I know that there are people listening to me right now, you're thinking, well, lady, if you had to deal with what I've got to deal with, you wouldn't even be saying that. You can enjoy yourself. You can enjoy God. You can enjoy His presence. You can enjoy looking forward to the good things that are to come. You know, every day we need to say something good is going to happen to me today. So I think first thing we have to do is believe the thief comes only to kill, steal, and destroy. But Jesus said, I came that you might have and enjoy your life and have it in abundance to the full until it overflows.
Yeah. You know, I can see very easily some people who are in great pain right now saying, how do I do that? I really want to do that, because we all want to be happy.
Yeah.
But how do I make it happen? And maybe it's someone who came from an abusive situation like you did. So you're speaking out of experience. You understand that pain. You know that it can change. So how can that happen for someone?
Well, I had a pretty serious problem with not enjoying much of anything. I was I wasn't like a real depressed person, but I just didn't think life was to be enjoyed. I don't know, I just had this idea of enduring it, and I was always so busy trying to do what was right. So long story short, when I finally realized that I had not really been enjoying my life, there were a few things that happened in my life that I enjoyed, but just life. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy much of that. I was always going to enjoy myself when. And when I really saw that I was grieving the heart of God by not enjoying my life, and that Jesus had died that I might enjoy my life, then I determined that I was going to enjoy my life, but then I had to start backing into, well, why am I not enjoying my life? What's going to need to change in my life for me to be able to enjoy it? And a lot of what had to change was my mindset. You know, first of all, just some things I can think of. I had to get rid of the thinking, well, I'll enjoy myself when. No, I'll enjoy myself right now, not when.
Yeah.
Because when happens, then there's another when. And so you have to say, I'm going to enjoy myself today. And I had to begin to believe I could enjoy myself even if everything in my life wasn't perfect, that I was going to find the things that were good and enjoy them. I had to learn that I was very works-oriented, and very much, always trying to please God and do the right thing. And I had to learn that, He's pleased with our faith. And yes, God cares about what we do, but it's not my perfect performance that's going to please God. And so you really can't enjoy your life until you learn how to trust God.
Yeah.
Because anybody can get a problem at any time, I went out to lunch last Saturday thinking everything was going to be super cool and fun, and man, something happened, just changed the whole course of the day, and it wasn't really a fun day after that. And so I had to talk to myself and not let that thing really drag me down and become a 3 or 4 day nightmare. And we have to learn, that all things work together for good. Even this thing that doesn't feel good right now, there's a purpose in this. God's in control. He's going to work this out for my good. There's something I need to learn. There's something I'm going to get out of this. And even before you know what it is, you need to talk to yourself. John 16:24 says, ask and receive that your joy might be full. So that was a big one for me. I had to stop trying to make things happen myself, and I had to ask God in faith.
Yeah.
Believe I had received. Then, having given God that problem and believing He was taking care of it, now I could enjoy myself.
That's huge, because we're always thinking, what will I do to make myself happy today?
Yeah.
Or what will somebody else do to make me happy today?
And really, I had to, first of all, Ginger, I had to take responsibility for my own joy. And that was huge for me, because I was always expecting Dave to make me happy, my kids to make me happy, the world to make me happy, whatever. I had to take responsibility for my own joy, and I had to say, if I'm not happy, it's my own fault. If I'm not happy, it's my own fault. And I know a lot of people are probably going, you have got to be kidding. But I really do think that it's a whole new way of thinking. Think about it. Just think about it right now. If you're not happy, it's your own fault. Now, it's not going to do you any good to get mad at me, because I can't see you anyway. You can see me, but I'm just trying to help you to understand that, as long as you keep thinking that somebody else is in control of your joy, then you're really giving the devil the upper hand. But if you say, I'm responsible for my own joy, then you can start to be happy anytime you decide to be happy. You know, for years, for example, if Dave went out, play golf, say we just come home from a conference and, okay, he's going to go enjoy himself. I'm dead tired. I don't feel like going out and doing anything. I'm just, you know, and I would start. Well, that's nice for you. What about me? What about me? And, you know, once I decided that is silly. He's going to go, and I can make my day miserable or I can be happy. And so here's what I'm going to do. And so now I'll just make a plan for me if that's what he's going to do. And I'll decide, well, I'm going to do this or that, or I'm going to have one of my kids take me to lunch, and, you know, I'm going to, you know, whatever, take a bubble bath with candles and watch 2 movies that I enjoy. You know, we don't have to let everybody else control our joy. And, you know, there's so much more that I can say about this, but really a lot of it is in a lot of my teaching, and we're offering my new book, Power Thoughts, and also a book that we're going to give to you free. It's a promise book. It's like promises of God that you can confess out loud and learn how to believe that'll really make a big difference in your life. So Power Thoughts book, and I promise you, as a free gift, you're going to love it. Start to learn how to enjoy your life.
I'm fat, I love food. I just can't stop eating.
I think my boss is the Antichrist.
I'm in debt up to my eyeballs.
I lost my job.
Negative thoughts bring negative results. So what do you think would happen if you used Power Thoughts?
I am more powerful than food.
Now, I can't change my boss, but I can change my attitude about it.
I'm gonna pay off that debt.
I got a lot to offer, and I'm putting on my game face.
With Power Thoughts, you'll learn 12 specific ways to conquer the thoughts in your mind that are holding you back from your destiny. This week, get Power Thoughts for a donation of $20 or more. And when you do, we'll include the booklet I Promise You for free. The new book is the follow-up to Joyce's acclaimed book, Battlefield of the Mind. Call toll-free 1-800-727-9673 or visit joycemeyer.org.
The Joyce Meyer Ministries Conference Tour is coming to Albany, New York, July 21st, 22nd, and 23rd at Times Union Center with worship by Matt Redman. Then Hershey, Pennsylvania, August 4th, 5th, and 6th at the Giants Center with worship by Fused Worship.
Admission is free and open to everyone.
Can anybody here get a revelation tonight on why you have problems in your life?
For more information and a complete conference lineup, visit us online at joycemeyer.org or call toll-free 1-866-SEE-JOYCE.
You mean more to us at Joyce Meyer Ministries than you may ever know. We appreciate you, and we thank our friends and partners for making this worldwide ministry possible. Together, we're feeding the hungry, clothing the poor, and presenting the gospel to the nations. Please contact us or visit joycemeyer.org today to share your prayer requests, find out more about our resources, see Joyce's conference schedule, and to join us in partnership as we share the love of Christ around the globe.
The proceeding was paid for by the friends and partners of Joyce Meyer Ministries.